really, Caroline and Danielle were the stars of this. That's how they
Yes.
wanted this show to be. Danielle
Yeah.
Staub was the star of
She
season
was good.
one.
She
The
was good.
whole
Even,
show, the whole season was about Danielle and Cop Without a Badge.
yeah. And I went to the, Danielle brought me because she was afraid of all of them. After the table flip, they had to do the picture, where they all come out. And Danielle asked me to go with her. She was afraid. And they put me and Danielle in a separate room. Danielle asked for a glass of wine. She wanted a straw. Of course, I wasn't drinking. I was friendly with everyone. I was even sitting out. I was friendly with, that's how Carlos King recognized me at Caroline's house when we were filming. But they, I sat and I watched them take pictures, and Carlos King was like about Danielle, isn't she great? Like, isn't she great? He loved her. She was gold for the show. I was friends with Jacqueline at the time. Teresa and we didn't know each other. I just was like, hello. Dina was the only one that wasn't very pleasant. Um, but everybody else was very nice to me. Again, I left the room several times, but they kept Danielle sequestered. She was scared to death of them, all of them. Yeah,
Carlos did love Danielle. First of all, I love that she's
loved her,
drinking wine out of a straw.
loved her.
Listen, you just reminded me of so many things. First of all, she's drinking wine out of a straw. Like, I'm obsessed with that. You
Yeah,
reminded me of, like, I was at that party, that Danielle's last season, that party where it all came out. You remember it was at, like, Melissa's beach house.
okay.
That party was, like, at the show. Remember that thing with, like, the whole where, like, they threw the glass or whatever, and
Yeah,
this was, and Melissa and Dan. So I was at that party. Now,
okay.
I went early. Like, no, I didn't go early, but I was told to come by Jennifer Aiden at a certain time. And then we got there, and the producers were like, listen, we're so sorry. We're running late. You have to, like, you can't come in the house. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So we had to go into the town in, like, Jersey Shore, and we had to go get a drink. So we're having a drink. We're sitting up at some bar. We're having a drink. We're not allowed in the house. Like, me and my friends, and we look down, and I'm like, is that Melissa Gorga? And is this person walking down the street Danielle Staub? That was that scene
Wow.
where they sat at that.
Yes,
They made Danielle,
yes.
they made Danielle enter like 15 times. It's really real, guys, right?
Yep,
Danielle had to do an
yep,
entry 15
yep.
times. And then we see Danielle's hands flying and Melissa's and we didn't know, because we're like, what the hell is going on? So we saw that whole thing, and then we get to the house and we're like, where's Danielle? And we saw this, and then Margaret's like, everyone's like, yeah, we can't talk about that. And we're just like, she was just, I'm sorry, she was just good TV. I don't care if
She
you love
was, she
her or hate
was.
her. She's
Yeah, she
just
was great
good TV.
TV.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
She's like,
Okay.
she's like the Brandy
Okay.
Glanville of Jersey. She's like
Oh,
a Brandy
1000%.
Glanville. She's
Yeah, she
messy,
really is.
she's sloppy, but just
Yep.
bring her back. Carlos
Bring her
loves her.
back.
He said he loved her on the
Yeah.
show.
Loved her on the show. He was very like really into it.
What else
When
you
like
got
when
there?
okay, so anyway, when they show the brownstone, I have nothing but good things to say about the brownstone. I had many, many fashion shows
I've been
there.
there.
Many fashion shows. Albert, Caroline's husband, is hands-on. He watches everything that goes on in my fashion shows. I oversold the fashion show one time of 120 tickets, and like we were sitting right on top of each other, but they made it work. They made
Do
it
they
work.
still
It was,
run that thing, the Brownstone?
oh yeah, both of them are
Oh,
there all the time. Both of them are
uh,
there all the time. Um, Albie, the son Albie, is a total sweetheart. The son he
they
is
seem like the nicest people.
so nice, so humble, so sweet. He's adorable. I really love that kid. He's really great. He's a grown ass man now. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Jacqueline from the day one that she did the show is the salt of the earth. Um, let's see. Let me see something. Danielle always looked
And I got a
long and
question for
lean.
you.
Okay. I feel like Danielle's body. I mean, like it's not my cup of tea, but she came into Posh. She would get naked right in the middle of in the original Posh Wayne, just
She
take her
keeps
clothes
it
off in the.
thin. She's tight.
Listen, she's tight and she does her yoga. She did her yoga way before Teresa did. Long and lean, always looked great. The girls, her daughters were always in my shop. She shopped a lot with me. She really did.
They
She
need to
did
do a
what,
Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and have you
yeah,
and
yeah,
Danielle
funny. Yeah, that would
and,
be
like,
funny.
a
I'd do
bunch
it.
of troublemakers.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Let's see. Was wealthy. Okay. So Danielle's husband, she was a dancer, and she met her husband, and they got together, and he married her. He was crazy about her. They had the two daughters. And then there's a local restaurant in town. Okay, I think it was Novelli. I think it was Novelli at the time, or it could have been La Gardenia because it changed
In
hands.
Allendale?
No, 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 in
Oh,
Wayne, where they
oh,
lived. And there was a hat check girl. And Danielle's husband left Danielle for the hat check girl.
really?
Yeah.
Was she younger?
Young, much younger. Danielle was devastated. Danielle loved her husband, devastated.
Which husband was
Really,
this? Wasn't
this is
she
the
married
one
like a
that,
thousand times?
well, this was the husband who she had the two daughters with, who was
Oh,
filthy rich. She lived in Wayne, the home that she lived in where they filmed. This was that husband. Yeah, sad. It was very sad.
is he
She'll
still
never
with
get
this
over that.
girl?
I think so. And I think they had more
Really?
kids. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
Was he
So, but
cute? Was he like a good
no,
guy?
no, he wasn't good looking. He was his
Very
family.
wealthy.
Yeah, his family were the ones that created. They invented one of the treadmills. I forget what name treadmill.
Well, that
So they
sounds
were,
like
yeah, they were
wealthy.
filthy. Yeah, they were filthy rich. And one thing nasty though about Danielle, she would invite, like, she'd have big parties, like huge parties back in the day, were like over the top because they had a lot of money. And like, let's say she didn't like one of the women from the street, or like maybe they were talking, she would invite the whole street except for that one person. She was mean like that. You know what I mean? She was mean like
Oh, so
that. She
she
would
would
invite,
say like whoever lives on like Smith Street, I'm
yeah,
inviting
you're not
everyone
invited.
except
Yeah,
wow.
except you. Yeah. So that's one of the things.
She's such
So
a psycho bitch in the best
yeah,
way
in the
possible.
best way. Okay. So also, another thing about the uh Caroline Manzo's family, Chris Manzo was best friends. They slept over each other's homes. Kim G also said they even slept in each other's beds. That when
With Kim's son.
John Granitel, Kim's son, would go to college, Chris would be home waiting for him at Kim G's house. Chris and John Granitel were besties, best friends. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Someone was very
We need a Kim G story. You got anything
yeah.
about Kim G? Or you want to
Yep.
save that to next time?
Yep. Let's
What do
see.
you mean,
Oh,
yep?
wait,
Do you
do
have
I
a
want to
good
talk
Kim
about
G
what?
story?
Well, that's going to be, listen, I can only report what I have a lot of Kimchi stories. We'll talk about that, but this was my report on the first episode. Also, let me tell you about what most of the girls were wearing. If you notice, they had all Virgin Saints necklaces on in their interviews, and I still sell those. I still sell Virgin Saints. I would, I didn't sell, I sold them at Posh, and they all bought a ton of them from me. That was their first, and when they were doing their confessionals, they were all wearing Virgin Saints. It was really funny. They're great pieces. If you go on my website, you can see them. Look them up, Virgins and Saints. They all had them on. And so now they were done filming this. And the thing just happened at Lunello's restaurant where Teresa flipped the table. And that's right around the time when Danielle walks into my store that had just opened.
That's how you got involved in season two.
That's how I got involved in season two.
I find the pre party get together where Danielle is going